So I want everyone to take a deep breath again, just because I need it, right? I want to kind of give a little story. Some of you may be familiar with it if you grew up around a farm, but if you do, for the most part, you realize and you understand from an early age that the animals are not named, and that's for a very specific reason, which is also obvious at our age, is that they are to be used or consumed or processed to be murdered for our benefit. We don't give them names because that personalizes them. It's anthropomorphism. It almost makes them human, and we can't care if their intention is to be consumed. It's too hard, right? And when you go into prison, you get a SID number, which is a state identification number. It's 8 digits usually nowadays. Mine was 20846605. I had to repeat that for 50 months straight for everything. That was who I am. That was who I was. I was also sometimes a bunk number, 122A, 122B, things of that nature. I was never Joshua. I was never a person. But when I went into a living yoga class, every single Monday, I attended the Monday evening classes at the prison. For over 3.5 years, I was called by my name. I was addressed as Joshua. No really other time of the week was I addressed by someone who had some power over me, because every volunteer does, even if they don't want to, for the simple fact that they are coming in from the community and they are free and we are prisoners and we have to abide by all kinds of rules that they do not. And so, that type of atmosphere where you sit in a circle, right, and you do yoga in a circle, you practice in a circle, even is different from the outside world where there is someone at the front of a room barking orders and telling you what to do, what pose to do, how to do it, and how long to hold it. In a living yoga class, especially the one I was at, it was almost a suggestion. It said, you can do this. This is how you might want to do it. This is a variation if this hurts, if you can't do this for some reason. And it was never hierarchical. You could refuse. You could say, no, I don't want to. You could just lay on your mat the entire hour that you were in the class and just lay there and be at peace in the chapel in a prison. And that type of, I said in the video, it was a brief ceasefire in the violence that is prison, and that's quite accurate. But that's also true of every living yoga class because of the model that they come from. It's trauma-informed. It's based in that type of humanity and love that's been discussed so often tonight. And I want you to remember, kind of similar to the poetry that started off this night, like that light inside of you, why you're here in the first place, why you care about this organization, why you donate money, why you bought this ticket, is because you have that love and you care. And it impacts us. It impacted me. So I was able to cope and deal with all that. Violence is not a pleasant place, and it's not because criminals or felons or prisoners or whatever you want to address them as are dangerous and violent, but it's because if you put a dog in a cage and just leave it there, it's not going to be happy if you come back a week later, right? And human beings are blood and flesh, so we're no different. So we're in a cage, right? So that feeling of humanity where that's once a week that people are told, you know what, this isn't helpful for you. You aren't a number. You aren't an animal. You aren't dangerous. You aren't violent. You're Joshua, right? That's why we do this work. That's why you're here tonight. And I want you all to never forget that love is inside of you too. That's why you care. And I really greatly appreciate everything that you do. Just being here, caring, talking, having an interaction, donating, whatever you do. I really appreciate it. because my humanity is your humanity. Thank you.